All right, I'm going to break down kind of what we're going to go over. Class flow is going to kind of look like, I'm going to break down what a prop firm is for you guys. I know you guys probably know, but I'm going to break that down into kind of the simplest terms for you. How they are probably the best opportunity that retail traders have had ever in making money in the market now. Kind of these, and the cons to these as well. The marketing psychology that kind of goes into the prop firm, its interfaces, the dashboard, and stuff like that. How that all affects, your emotional state and how you trade and how you take trades, enter trades day in and day out. Because at the end of the day, they're set up to induce emotions out of you guys. The more emotions you have, the more likely you are to sit there and continually click that buy sell button all day. So that's done through different areas of dopamine hits, cortisol hits and stuff like that, which I'll go into. And then I'll kind of go into how understanding rules, these prop firms rules, and even your own trading rules, parlayed with discipline, really sets you up to be successful when it comes to trading. So, Turbo, yes, this will be recorded. So, yeah. And then after that, we'll get into the nitty gritty of how I manage my risk management, kind of the rules that I started with when I first decided to lock in on the psychology side. And that I think will help open us up into a nice Q&A for you guys. So you guys can ask any questions you might have that I didn't answer in the actual class itself. So, yeah. And the big thing is for you guys, and I want you guys to get out of this is, this is 90% of trading right here. The other 10% is execution and learning your strategy, but the 90% of it is how you handle your psychology, how you follow your rules, how you stay disciplined. That's really the other 90% to kind of push you over the edge and get you in that 1 percentile of people who are trading. So, all right, let's get into it. So first, you're gonna want to understand what this is, right? So this is a prop firm, all right? So what this prop firm does is they give you what I like to call an illusion of trading with $50,000 worth of capital. But as many of you know, that is absolutely not the case. They're only really giving you $2,000 to play with. So getting that kind of in the back of your mind and getting that $50,000 balance out of there, will kind of help you manage your risk properly, knowing that your account balance really isn't 50K, it's a 2K balance, right? So what they basically do is they let you, quote unquote, purchase $50,000 worth of buying power for a small fee and little to no risk of your own money. So for us as retail traders, that's great. Now we have a little bit of buying power for a fraction of the price. That gives us a little bit more, I wouldn't say level playing field, but it sets us up better to kind of attack some of these bigger institutions or, really leverage the opportunity to start actually making some substantial amounts of money. These prop firms have changed the game for us as retail traders, right? Normally people are, they get into trading, right? And they start going to options where it's, you have to click 4 or 5 buttons before you place your order. You're dealing with battling the Greek, so you got to have some math behind it. Not with this and futures trading. You basically, what you see is what you get. So it's it's great. It gives us a tremendous opportunity to trade with more money and less risk than we would, normally back 10 years ago. So another good thing too is they also have, great technology out there. Like this one I'm showing you here on the screen is Project X. This thing here allows for instant market executions. You get, the opportunity of weekly payouts for most of these firms. They give you a nice, pretty little dashboard here, right? That lets you know how you do, keeps your stats all neat for you. You get another dashboard here on your actual Top Step dashboard. I mean, all this is great. This shows you, where you're trending, how you're trending in the market, how your trades are trending. And to me, something like this is great, but only if you're disciplined and know how to actually use it. So that's what I'm going to kind of go into today. Wow, I have 7 reset credits available on Top Step. That is good to know. So, all right. But yeah, so none of this existed 10 years ago, right? Like, I mean, back in the day when you're trading stocks, you had to pick up the phone and call a guy and say, hey, I want to, buy X amount of this stock. So, and then you would just have to take this random guy's word that he placed that order for you. You don't really know what your fill is going to be because the market's constantly moving. To now just being able to click a button like this and get in and get out of the market super quick, fast, easy, and you're done. So let's go into how these prop firms actually work, right? So how do they make their money? And I promise, I know this may seem a little bit redundant to you guys, but in the grand scheme of things, once I break it down for you a little bit later on in the lesson, you'll understand why this is important, to truly understand the vessel that you're trading on, right? So how do prop firms make their money, right? These firms make their money off of the biggest one being us and these evaluation fees, right? All these fees it takes us to purchase an account go straight to Top Step, go straight to Lucid, go straight to Alpha. So that's going to be their biggest source of income. And the second one's probably going to be profit splits, right? And when we get down to the nitty gritty of this a little bit later, you guys will see that these quote unquote profit splits aren't what they seem, right? These firms are kind of using that to pay you just a little bit of less money, and that being is because when you have an eval account like this combine right here, right, you're technically paper trading. So you know that, and everybody, I'm sure all of you in here have been in the situation where you just wanted to full port an eval account because you know that it's paper trading, right? But what they don't tell you is that when you activate this combine and you activate it, and you make it into an express funded account, right? Everybody thinks that they're actually taking money from the market, in and out of the market each day. But in reality of it, even on an express funded, you are still paper trading. So these firms are banking on you as a trader to not be able to follow your rules, the rules that they set and your own rules a second time, right? They think that they got a 50-50 shot to collect that premium off you, which would be for the fees. So if you're not actually trading in the market, and this isn't coming out, these orders aren't actually executed on the actual market book of the NASDAQ, why are they taking money from you, right? Why are they taking a split of the profit? At the end of the day, this is money out of their pocket, so they're going to try to reduce that risk or the amount of money that they have to pay you. And this also works as kind of like a psychological trick almost to you guys, right? So everybody full port your eval, boom, you pass it in 2 days. You think you're Warren Buffett trading. Now these prop firms give you access to all these, actual chance of getting a payout, right? So you try to wash, rinse, and repeat what you do. You maybe over leverage a little bit, and then at the end of the day, possibly end up blowing your account. So once you realize that they are set up to prey on the 99% of people that cannot control their emotions, that don't have any discipline, that just want to sit here and get rich quick, it kind of helps you block out all this noise. And by noise, you'll see, like, I'll go into that a little bit later. But this right here, that's all noise. Like what the fuck does that mean? You know, like, yeah, it means, okay, somebody's buying long here, buying a short here, but it's like, I don't really care. Why does that affect me, right? I'm looking off a candlestick. My strategy is based off of candlestick structures and liquidity levels. I don't need to see all this. All that's pointless. So yeah. So now you got to think about how they structure these accounts, right? So I just told you that on these eval accounts, right, you're paper trading. So they force you to try to pass this trading eval, which for 99% of people is hard. And then on top of that, now that you've already passed it, you're not going to get any benefit of actually being in the market or anything. They're just going to give you access to possibly getting a payout. So hold on, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, so there's really no benefit. It's just another hurdle that you have in the back of your mind that now you have to get over. And then once you get over that hurdle, you kind of build up some ego side to it. And I mean, I was guilty of it. You know, I passed an eval easily, and I thought I was about to do the same thing on a funded. Next thing I know, 2 trades, 3 trades, that funded was gone. You know, back when I first started. So let's go back to the way I was talking about the interface, right? So they set this up, and the majority of you in here are, I'm probably old compared to all of you. Like I don't know how old most of you are, and if you guys want to put, you know, your age range in the chat, that'd be great. But majority of you guys are under 30 in here, right? So everybody, there we go. We got 20, 29, 11, 25, 21, 44, 19, 21, 32. Yeah. So a lot of us are in the 20s or early 30 range, right? And majority of us grew up on the integration of technology into our lives. So we then got adapted to, you know, having a device in our hand at all times, having a computer, and then for even younger people, it now goes into, you know, video games, Fortnite, and all that other stuff. So what they're going to do is try to make this as easy and friendly and user friendly as possible for those people to treat this like a game. Treat this like you're going to a casino and trying to get a 50-50 win or not. So, I mean, it's just like, you know, I mean, everybody. I grew up playing Modern Warfare. I grew up chasing after, you know, the max prestige. I think it was 10 prestige at the time. All the max camos and all that stuff, and all that stuff starts to look a little familiar when you go into some of these dashboards, right? And you see, oh, okay, now I've got access to these stats, right? So now these stats add a whole nother layer to it, right? So if your stats are bad, you're going to want to trade more to make them good. And if your stats are good, you're gonna get an ego. You're gonna be egotistical in your trading, and then you're gonna overtrade, over leverage, and end up blowing your account. So the whole, I mean, even the way this balance bar is set up here, you know, you have, so when you're sitting here, right, and you take your first loss of the day, you can look here and then look here and see, okay, I know exactly how much money left I have till drawdown, so I can get in another trade. Boom. All I have to do is click this one button. It's all done in seconds. When, you know, 5-10 years ago, dude, to place a trade, I mean, it took, like, it felt like you were getting interviewed by the government, you know, like interviewing for a Secret Service job. They're asking you, you know, who was your third neighbor, you know, third next door neighbor, and all this crazy stuff, right? So them using this as a way to target those people, the 99% of people who don't know how to stay disciplined and follow rules, to get them to keep treating this like a casino and keep feeding them, you know, their money. So it all traps you into feeling you some sort of emotion, right? So whether you're green and you're you got a bunch of big dopamine hit because you just hit a nice trade, zero drawdown, awesome, right? You got dopamine, so then you're going to want to trade more. I want more, right? And then even on the other side, when you take a bad trade, or you have a red balance, right? That releases cortisol and stress, which can then lead to bad decisions, over trading, and all that other stuff. So if there's a whole bunch that go into it, and I had a guy explain it to me who's been in the market very well and who started his own prop firm. And once he laid it out for me, and I kind of understood that they're the best opportunity for retail traders to get into the market, but it's also the best opportunity for these people to make money off of degenerates. So everything, like I said, everything's done strategically. All these flashing green and red numbers, like I just said, dopamine and cortisol, all that stuff, all these stats that you see here, ooh, I'm green, 63% win rate, 3.0 profit factor, all that is supposed to get you, emotionally fired up to where you have cloudy, and you make, you have cloudy judgment, and you misjudge something, or you react purely off of emotion and not what, and not what you should be doing. So yeah, guys, I see your questions. I will get back to all that stuff about, how much you want to risk and stuff. That gets onto it later. So, all that's, like I said, all that stuff leads to chasing, pressing buttons, breaking your rules. So, and like I went over earlier, look, it's so easy to get in the market, man. It is so easy to get in the market and out of the market. So easy. 2 buttons. I was in for less than a second right there, and I lost $4. Could have made $4, right? But it's all to trap you into over trading. Because you guys got to think, man, you've seen the stats, 99% of people don't have any discipline. They don't want to actually put in the time to learn a strategy, to understand how the market moves. They just want to sit there, guess where it's going, hit a button, and see massive green or blow the account because, all right, cool, I can just go ahead and buy another $90 account. It's not like back in the day when you're trading options and you put in $500 worth of your own capital in options and you could lose half of it in a minute. Like that shit kind of hurts. But here you don't, you lose $250. It's not really what you're losing, right? The only thing that you have at risk is that initial fee. So here, like I said, here too, like all this balance and MLL, your P&L and your unrealized profit and loss, like all that was strategically put right there for you to be able to access all that information super quick without having to go to another page where, maybe you get stopped out on a trade and you want to be like, okay, I'm going to revenge trade this back, right? I went short, but it went long. I'm going to chase longs. You know exactly how much risk you have left until that account's blown. So, if you're red on the day, right? But you still have $1,500 worth of drawdown left on your account. You may be pissed. Your emotions are getting the best of you, and okay, you think you see a trade, right? It's not an A+ trade. It's not an A- trade. It's just a trade, a decent trade, not delivering from anything. But the fact that you have $1,500 to work with makes it really easy for you to click that button and blow another 500, right? But in the reality, it's the hardest part is learning not to do that. So, and it goes the same way too when your balance is green, right? So say if you have a green balance, you make $500 on the day. It's so easy, man, to be like, oh, dude, I'm going to risk half of it, try to double it, right? I'm going to risk $250 to make this balance $1,000. And it's normally when you start catching yourself doing that, that's when you end up tilting your accounts. So, even these, like I went over earlier on the stats and metrics over here, right? Like this is all great information if you know how to digest it and don't take this as a, just because my Top Step dashboard says this, that's how good or bad of a trader I am. Like it's not that serious, man. 63% win rate and I'm still up $800 on the week, right? Which is probably a little bit higher after I took those 2 BS trades, right? But I mean, look, 63% win rate. I just opened these on Monday. This first trade I took on Monday. 63%, and I'm still profiting $800. You know, so if you can take this for what it's worth at face value and not look too much into it, then and kind of block out that noise, then you know you guys will be good. So, I mean, one thing I do, and you guys see me trade, but I turn this shit off, right? I keep the RP&L and the UP&L just because I like to see it up at the top sometimes, but I don't go in looking at my balance, right? I don't care. As soon as I start looking at my balance, as soon as I go into here and counting how many days I am till my next payout, right? Okay, I've got four green winning days over 150. You know, it's normally when that fifth day you try to chase it. So I just block that shit out. It's noise that is only there to hurt you. I mean, it's great to have that available to you right there, but you know, if you can't block it out or take it for face value, then it's only going to do more damage than good. So, all right, let's see, where am I at? Yeah, I mean, like going back to the gaming setup. Like this is set up to be somewhat like a game. I think you all can agree to that it is. They've made it super easy for everybody to get in and out of the markets. They've tailored it to look like a game, right? So if you're looking at these stats saying, man, I got a 3.0 profit factor, but you know, stock's got a 9.0 profit factor, right? You're going to, all that there is to do is to sit there and try to cloud your judgment and to try to make you think irrationally and hop in trades when you don't need to hop in a trade. So, I mean, same thing like, you know, keeping track of 10th Prestige, you know, keeping track of how close you are to Red Tiger camo and all that stuff. Like, they took that aspect and tailored it in here to flip it against their consumers. So, shitty, but you got to understand this is a business. It's their business model, and they make money off of degenerates and people who treat it like a casino. I promise you there is a lot more people blowing accounts than there are taking payouts. They've even come out and said that 99% of people haven't even gotten to the funded phase. Like the 3% or whatever, 1% or whatever have taken a payout. So they got to tailor their market. They're going to make their money, and they're going to reward those who are disciplined. All right, let me see. Anybody got any questions so far? Yeah. So let's see. Out of 1,000 traders, 12.4% become funded, 3.5% get a payout, and only 0.9% become live funded. Yeah, and I would say those are probably even smaller, man. I mean, I'd say 3.5% get a payout, right? Getting a payout is great, right? It's a great accomplishment to have, but I mean, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, right? So I'd like to see the stat on how many of those people that got that first payout roll over into a second and a third payout. So, and the 0.9% become live funded. You guys got to realize that's going to be a little bit skewed because a lot of people will take 4 payouts on an account and blow it to avoid that capital gains tax. So, Jacob, yes, I will be trading live later. Yes, sir. What should we be risking and taking profit to pass the fastest? Apollo, I will get into that here in a little bit. Finesse, how different is live funded and funded? So when you're on an express funded account, right, you are technically still paper trading, and the firm is banking on you to tilt, to blow your balance and blow that account and have to buy another account, because the likelihood of somebody being able to pass the same set of rules from the eval phase to the funded phase, simultaneously or consecutively back to back is, the stats are probably shocking. So yeah, when you go to live account, then you're actually trading with real capital. So then they actually are giving you, $50,000 to work with, and the bad end of it, you're not getting taxed as a 1099 contractor. You're then getting taxed capital gains, which is like 40% or some crazy shit. So how much we should be risking to pass the funded account fastest? Well, your funded account, you shouldn't be trying to rush through that. You should take base hits until you get your first payouts and get comfortable with sticking to your rules. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, could you really go off those statistics like Doc? He blows his account after the fourth payout because he doesn't want a live account. Surely he isn't the only one doing that. So those statistics, they definitely have to be off. So, all right, now I'm gonna kind of have a hot take here with you guys. So, everybody kind of bitches and moans, right, about these prop firms' rules. All these rules suck. This consistency rule, 20%. What the hell is that? I've got to meet a profit target of $3,000. That's bullshit. Honestly, man, out of all this stuff that you see and all the good things you think that this firm is offering you with these quick executions and all this noise and this pretty freaking calendar and all this stuff, these rules that they have set for you are the best thing for a disciplined trader. They're the best thing for you guys. And if you can understand that and work with the rules, not against the rules, and learn how to be okay with staying consistent with a certain profit target of, $250, whatever it may be, over 10 to 12 days, you're going to be more successful in the long run being able to do that than most people look at them as like a Achilles. I forget the word I'm looking for here, but they look at them as a hindrance, right? They're not there to hinder you. They're not there so when you go to take a payout, they can try to screw you over because you didn't follow their rules to a T, which, yes, they will do. But truthfully, though, those rules are the best things that they have in place for you as a trader to actually take payouts and become profitable. So does that make sense? And I'll go into it a little bit more when we start talking about the risk management side of it and my rules and how important it is to stick to a strict set of rules. But everybody always hates on them. Hates on the don't let your account get below this. Your consistency target has to be 50% of your profit target. You have to reach and maintain $3,000. Everybody always wonders why Top Step had the 50% rule, right? So they've been the longest tenured prop firm out there. They put this rule in place to help people, not hinder people. Because what they found out that in the beginning, they didn't have a consistency rule. So traders would go in and full port one trade, make 3,000, and then instantly get funded and be able to, trade in the same trading day on a funded account. Had led to them, ended up tilting those accounts a lot easier than if they had to sit there and learn how, okay, 1,500, I need that, lockout. Okay, another 1,500, I got that, lockout. So, yeah. These rules here too, they force you to have, discipline. They help you to not overtrade. There's some firms out there that let you have a maximum amount of contracts. Top Step does as well. Now, granted, they're going to tailor these to benefit them and give them the edge and let you overtrade a little bit because at the end of the day, they make their money from your fees on these accounts. So if they give you, a little bit more than an inch, most people will take a mile and end up tilting that account. But even at even when you're under $2,000 balance, you're limited on how many contracts you can enter with and on MNQ and NQ, and then it goes up after 2,000. That's the only thing I don't agree with. I think it should go up after you reach that profit target of 3,000 on that funded account. So if you can stay disciplined and stay consistent over the long term, and take those base hits day in and day out and not shoot for one fucking moonshot and then try to coast the rest of the way, like it's gonna change the way you trade, change the way you see the market. It's gonna help you understand yourself better emotionally and stuff like that. So don't hate on these rules, man. They're good. I mean, as a trader myself, I have my own rules that I use to trade, which I'll go over here in a little bit. Doc has his own rules. Po Boy has his rules, and that's it. It's how well you are at sticking to those rules is how well you're going to do in this industry. So, for instance, like that 200, it's like $150 a day for 5 days on Top Step, right? I think that's a great rule. That helps you teach, to take those base hits, helps you teach consistency, so you don't need that, you don't feel the need to shoot for that, $2,000 day. You shoot for 150, 150, 150, and you can go 8 for 10 in 2 trading weeks and, get a payout for not the max payout, but you're still taking money out that you didn't have before. So I think it's a good rule. Where it can hinder you guys and where it used to hinder me is when I would see that rule down here and it was, it was what, 4 out of 5 days of, profit target met, right? And then I know I'm able to get a payout already because of my balance. I went and looked in here and saw that I needed one more day and all I needed was $150. I can't tell you how many times those were the days that I actually ended up blowing my fundeds with 4K balances, 6K balances. So it can be good, but it can also hinder you. You got to learn how to handle your own emotions, and it comes with time. So, at the end of the day, these rules they act as guardrails for you guys. They're not there to act like a offensive line or anything like that. They're there to help you not over leverage, help you to stay disciplined, help you to force you to learn your risk management to some extent, and for the most part, it prevents you from blowing accounts if you're strict with them. So the way I look at it is, and the way I kind of had to tell myself was, if you respect these rules, you get payouts. At the end of the day, these prop firm want consistent traders. They want everybody to follow these rules, right? Because the consistent traders who then can take 4 payouts and then go live, they're now trading with actual money for these firms. And then this is when the profit splits actually come into effect. So if they can weed out the weak with these paper trading accounts on these expresses and these fundeds, the people who actually go live, they know it's almost a guarantee for them to make money. So if you can kind of understand how they set up these combines and express accounts to manipulate the 99% who can't stay disciplined or have self-control, the easier it is for you to realize, hey, I'm over trading today. Hey, I probably should lock out today. I feel myself tilting. I really want a revenge trade type stuff. So, if you think, like I said, combine is a test for people to actually be able to have the right to earn a payout, but you're still paper trading. Now, once you're funded, having those 5 payouts on a funded is these firms' next trial phase to weed out the weak who may have squeaked by and then eventually move you up to a live account. So, the better you do as a trader, right? The more money you make and can make the firm, and the better they do, the better you do, the better they do. Just makes sense. But in the end, in the long run, what you guys got to understand is that they will make tenfold what they make off of a profitable trader off of degenerates buying and blowing accounts. 10 times minimum. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Taryn, I'm glad you mentioned that, brother. I need all of you to do this. Go into your miscellaneous here. Turn this shit off. That order filled sound used to be the biggest dopamine hit, or cortisol, if my trade was a losing trade, ever. And that's another thing they added. You buy an account for your first time. That comes in preset. It's gonna say order filled every time. It's not there to be your fucking hype man and let you play your music. That's there to kind of give you that itch to trade more, to listen to that sound. So now I'm going to bring the psychology side of the prop firms all together. So does anybody have any questions right now? Anybody have any questions? Any feedback? So I should just take time with my combine. Zach, man, personally, if you have not taken a payout, yes, you're still exposed to the market. You're getting the emotional side out of it and understanding that. You're getting that out of the way. And dude, if you can sit there and you can take and stay and have a strict set of rules and take 10 days of $250 and walk away, and then 2 weeks, you're gonna have like the mental clarity you're gonna have after you activate that funded. Like, bro, it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot in somebody to be that disciplined and actually pass the combine and stick to their rules. So if you can do that and then just keep going with it on your funded, bro, you'll start seeing a return on investment so quick. Like, once you get this stuff down, guys, yes, you're gonna have to learn as you go, right? In the market, you're gonna have to evaluate yourself, how you're trading, your emotions through trading in real time. I can't do that for you. I can't tell how something's gonna affect you, right? You gotta take this as like, oh, okay, now I see this side of it, and then take a step back after you take a trade and say, oh, okay, yeah, Moosh said this, okay, I see that now. You know what? I'm gonna lock out. I'm gonna lock out for the day. I'm gonna close the charts. I'm gonna walk away. But once you get that down, like it clicks, like almost night and day. Once you can get down being disciplined, and take the emotions out of trading, that's when you start to scale. That's when shit really becomes so easy. So let's see. I changed my colors for my P&L to blue and pink and MLO. That's smart. Bro, how much are they risking for their prop firm evaluation 50 account? They want to know. So this is a rule of thumb. This is what I did. And of course, my risk tolerance is going to be completely different from everybody else's. So if you can afford the $90, right? And actually try to be disciplined and say you're on Top Step. What I would do is I would risk 500 to make 1,500. And I would try to do that 2 days in a row, right? So that way, you get 4 attempts at passing it, right? The chances of you going 0-4 and trading is the chance of you going 0-4 in trading is pretty slim to none if you stick to a strategy and you're only you're taking good trades. So I forgot what I was going. This guy messed me up with that, but I would risk 500 to make 1,500. Where I'm at personally in my trading career, and this is by no means advice to any of you, but I don't waste time with my fundeds, because to me, I know the psychological side behind it. I'm already profitable. I can handle that risk. I've taken I just took a payout on Top Step last week. I'm 1 day away from taking one this week. Like I can manage that $90, right? Now, majority of the time, I pass those accounts because I only take A+ setups when I'm over leveraging on those fundeds, but I do size heavily on my fundeds. Now, somebody who hasn't taken a payout or hasn't taken multiple payouts, I would not do that. I would look at these fundeds as a chance to understand the market more, understand your trades, understand your executions, and the most important part, understand you yourself as a trader and your emotions, going, from your emotions from when you open up the charts to that day you need to be aware of, to right before you get into a trade, to how your emotions are when you're managing a trade, to how your emotions are after your trade is either stopped out or how to take profit. So use that eval as a chance to understand that, right? Understand yourself, and then once you do that and you get funded, that's when it becomes easy. So let's see, anybody else? So we should risk 250 to make 250. If you want to go for a 1-to-1 RR, yes. On an A+ trade, I normally shoot for 1-to-2 or a 1-to-3. So you could do 250 to win 500, and what I would do is go break even. After that trade goes $250 in the green, so it's a risk-free trade on my part. And if it goes in my take profit, great. If it gets stopped out and I get manipulated, oh well, it's not the end of the world. I didn't lose any money, didn't win any money. But at the end of the day, to me, I'll say this a little bit later, is you guys got to understand that break even, if you are BE or you are break even on the day, that is a win. Like if you go break even on a trade and get stopped out, that's a win. You were able to either get out of the day without losing or winning any money, risk-free, or you were able to get into a trade and it started to go your way, but hey, maybe you entered too early. Maybe you should have waited for the real manipulation leg, but you got stopped out at BE. Cool. Now you can go assess the trade, assess your emotions during the trade, and come back and attack for tomorrow. So let's see. I mean, Zach, if you can afford it, bro, by all means, do it. I mean, given what I just gave you, the combine phase is set up to try to get people to fail. So if you are confident enough that you can size heavy on combines, then do that. When and how do you know it's okay to take a second trade on the day? If the first one is an L, and know that you're not just manipulating yourself into blowing accounts. Jay, that's a great question, brother. I'm going to get into that a little bit later, but I'll touch on it now. So that all goes back to your trading rules, right? You should have a maximum amount of trades you are willing to take based off of your risk tolerance within a day. You should have a daily loss limit, personal daily loss limit set on how much money you are willing to risk and lose every day. You personally should have a daily profit target and hit that shit and lock out. But I will get into that more here shortly. Is a percentage option a percentage of your account? Taryn, I don't know. I've never done a percentage. I normally do it off of dollar amounts. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you break it down, you got $2,000 to play with, right? So how many trades do you want to try to get in, say, if you were to lose every trade, right? So if you are okay with 4 trades, do $500 as a stop on your actual, your max stop on a trade. If you want 20, set your daily stop loss or set your stop bracket at 100, 200, whatever it may be, and call it a day. So, but you guys are 1-to-1 traders though, saying break even is a win. Yeah, we're normally 1-to-1, right? So we target that 1-to-1. Take off, we scale out most of our position there at that 1R because normally that's when people are going BE. But instead of going BE, I'm going to secure my money because the market has been very manipulative. And then I will leave runners. So say if I go in with five contracts, if it really starts, if it's starting to continue to rip up, right, and I'm in longs, I may take out 3 at the first TP and let the rest run to second and third, stop at break even. So you want you want to reward yourself at that 1R, right? Whether that be you going B, if you're okay with doing that, or taking some off the table, but still staying in the trade, to still show, okay, I took a good trade today. I want to take some money. Bro, go for it. You got to take what the market gives you, because I promise it is not forgiving. So, and all that'll come with time, man. You'll start to understand your own risk settings and how much you're willing to risk on each trade, based off of your balance, based off of how many payouts you've taken. That's all. I can't tell you how to. I don't know what your risk tolerance is, so I can't tell you what to risk. That's something you kind of have to come to terms with yourself. But I just know that you guys should not be just sitting there over leveraging on trades because somebody's giving you a call out or something like that. So, all right, I'm gonna tie that all together, and then we'll get into the risk management portion of it. So, basically, these prop firms, they're kind of exploiting the human psychology side of it when it comes to the eval and the combine, or the eval and the funded phase. But once you really realize this, it's easy for you to understand your emotions throughout the trading day and looking at the charts, and it's easy for you to kind of flip the script on these prop firms and really flip the script in your trading career and start to take it to the next level. So dopamine, the green candles, dopamine, the red candles, cortisol, the green, on the DOM here, the green realized profit and loss, all that stuff's dopamine. That shit is your enemy. Your cortisol and your stress, when you get into, you take fat 2 losses on the day, and you give them back some of the profits you made that week. That cortisol and stress can end up being your kryptonite. Lead you to revenge trading, lead you to overtrade, lead you to over leverage on the next trade, which at the end of the day is what these prop firms want the 99% of humans to do, because they know that they have no self-control to follow their own rules. They also have no self-control to not go and buy another account and try to get back the money they already lost. So, a discipline and structure plus emotional intelligence is going to be your edge in the market. So, this is how you have an edge on the house, like you would in sports betting, gambling, or the casino, right? You want to have that edge. So if you're disciplined to these rules, to the prop firm's rules, disciplined, to your own rules, and you have some structure of every day that you follow religiously and strictly, there's no way you guys shouldn't be profitable. And I have proof right here for you guys. I follow my rules to a T, right? I shoot for that $300 as my as my profit target right now on these accounts. I let runners run to the second TP here, as you see on the second day. But look, I had 1, 2, 3 winning days, right? And I had 1 losing day, but I'm still profitable, $842, right? Put a 1 in the chat if you all could have used $842 extra in your account this week. Exactly. More combines, more ways to scale. You got it right, Turbo. So exactly. I don't think anybody would have minded that. So, this is all going to come back in a little bit after this when I start getting to the risk management side of it. But if you just look what sticking to your rules does, man. Look what sticking to your rules does. I know this right here says 4 hours and up. I left the runner and that shit just chopped around. So ignore that. But, look, 1, 2, 3 winning days, 1 losing day, and I'm still up. So realize that's that discipline and structure and your emotional intelligence is your edge. And these rules that you set for yourself, these rules that these prop firms have for you, and the low barrier of entry into these funded accounts is your armor, being the rules, and your opportunity. Being the fact that you can you can trade with $2,000 for a small fee of $90. Like I said, it looks like you're trading with 50K, but if you go back to the rules, maybe you're really trading with 2K. So just keep that in the back of your mind. And the goal of every trader, right, should be sticking to your rules and your strategy and following your strategy, which we'll get into here in a minute. Patience and emotional intelligence, letting the trade come to you, entering when you should be entering, not entering when you're not 100%, and understanding that sometimes it's good to just let the trade come to you and be patient. If you don't get a trade in the day or you miss it, it's not the end of the world. The more time you have, the more days you have to trade, the more chances you are to become profitable. So with that, I'll say less is more is what I like to say. So, you're strict with these rules, man. The less time you have in the market, the less time there is for you to get manipulated, right? So the patient you are, the more strict you are with these rules, and you only take a trade when you're 100% across the board. There's no real. The only other outlying factor in that would be the emotional side, which we'll get into here in a little bit. So, you don't need to be looking at the charts all day. You don't need to be, scrolling, checking MNQ, ES, what GC's doing, checking the Discord group chat, seeing what everybody else is in. Less is more, man. Stick to that strict to that two trade a day rule. If you lose 2 days, bro, lock out. Once if you start to take those two losses, right? And what I said is going to happen to everybody. It still happens to me to this day. You take 2 losses, right? You get manipulated twice. That shit's annoying. It is very frustrating. That shit sucks, especially when you're close to a payout. It sucks, right? But you got to understand that is part of the game. It's part of it, man. Nobody's 100%. If somebody was 100%, then they'd have to reevaluate what the market's doing. Another goal you guys should have is, and it kind of goes back to what I just said, is learning how to accept these losses, man. You got to learn how to be the best loser. The best losers in this game make the best winners. If you can stick strict to your rules and say you have a $250 max daily loss limit, personal daily loss limit, and you know that, all right, cool, I can only lose $250 before my account blows, or say 300. So then you can do risk 150 and 150 on 2 trades, and know you can only take 2 trades in a day, and learn how to, okay, those 2 trades lost, wasn't my day. Click this nice little fancy lockout button they got here for you. Lock out all day, dude, and come back tomorrow. Like you want to make sure you want to survive till the next day. And then the last goal kind of ties back into the whole psychological side of it is you got to preserve your mental capital. This shit, like I said, is a whole bunch of noise all out there for everybody to get analysis paralysis, switching between time frames, looking at the colors of the candles, looking where the candles closed, remembering where my levels are at, trying to go see what the other indices are doing while I'm looking for a trade. All that is there, and all that is noise, and it's there for you. It's there to give you analysis paralysis to then overthink, cloud your judgment, and make poor decisions in your trading to ultimately get you to buy more accounts. How much are you risking per trade on 50K accounts, bro? On a 50K funded account, YoniFlow? Meloso, yeah, bro, it happens, bro, but you notice that, right? So that's step 1. So when you can realize that, all right, shit, I'm gonna have red days. I'm gonna lose, right? I'm gonna get cooked. I'm gonna get manipulated. I'm gonna get diddied. But it's all about how I handle that one day I get diddied, and how strict I was on the days before where I didn't. Leads you to weeks like this. So, Yoni, on a 50K funded account, I am normally risking. I like to risk like 100 to 150. Shoot for $250, $300. Risking 300 per trade. Chris, like I said, everybody has their different risk tolerance. For me, I found it was easier just to take base hits, get that, $200, go BE, and just hit those and do that across multiple accounts, then try to shoot for higher RR trades that I want to be in longer. I just found that it didn't work for me. So, you got 5 accounts, guys, and you make $200 a day on that account. That's $1,000. Like, $1,000 a day, right? So let's take that into effect here, right? In this profit counter. So say that's $1,000. So across your 5 accounts, right? This will say 250. What you got to realize is $1,000 today, $1,000 here, $1,000 here. Okay, I lost $1,000. I'm still up 3,000. 3,000 times 5 accounts is what? Now you guys can do that math. Somebody give it to me. Bob Marley, I see you're typing. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. $15,000 spread out across 5 accounts. Yeah, it's not as sexy as taking your max payout or whatever. But, hey man, I'm not gonna complain about $1,500 times 5 accounts, right? I don't think anybody else would. That's $7-8 grand right there. So I've got my emotions pretty locked in recently. At least I'm sure it's in ebb and flows, but I have been managing decent recently. But I feel like my losers are just big juicy boys. Okay, man. That's once you can learn how to take those two, take those losses and just learn how to walk away. That's when, how do we figure this out on an individual basis? This goes out to you understanding yourself, man. Like just for instance, on Friday, dude, I have 3 funded accounts on here as well that I am $150 away from taking, I think like another $1,500 payout on each of those accounts. You know how badly I wanted to get that Friday, bro, but I hate trading on Fridays. So I told myself I'm going to shoot for it. I risked 300, and if I hit it, I didn't. If it hit 150, or if I hit 300, then good. I get to take a payout. But you know how hard it was for me to lock out and not try to trade and not try to get that extra money back? So base hits always win the game, bro. For real. More so like ratio. So, bro, if you know say if we hit trades on during the week, right, Chris? So say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we hit 1-to-1, 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 right? And say our target was $300, right? So 3, 6, 9, 12, right? You're gonna have $1,200 in your balance, right? So all right, I've had 3, maybe 4 green winning days. So I'm going to be cautious going into this trade. All right, only risk 1R. Like if we're only hitting 1R on this week, because sometimes we'll hit 2 to 3R, 4R, 5R, right? 1 to 5. But if you can only get 1-to-1 and that's all the market's giving you that week, then you got to play into the market. So only risk 1R. So it's going to be different for everybody, man. It's going to be different for everybody, but the point of this is to make you guys aware of how these prop firms are stacked up to help you like, and it's stacked up to help you have the best leverage and lower risk in here. But also how they got to make money too, man. They got families to feed. So what are they going to do, man? They're going to prey on people and make it, you know, treat it like it's going to be a game or a casino for some of these people. So trust me, dude, I'm not perfect. I still will find myself tilting. But one thing I will say, the difference between this time this year and June, I'm able to realize when I'm tilting. You know, I'm understanding it, and you know, this is when I go lock out, right? And if I feel myself about to tilt, what I'm going to go do, LeVar, I'll get to your question in 1 second, brother. If I feel myself tilting here, and this is another rule I like to have for you guys, I want you guys to kind of take this in your back pocket, is I lock out on my fundeds, man. Lock out on that account that I took the losses on this morning, and then go trade a eval account, bro. Go revenge trade on an eval account that you don't really care about. It's not cutting into your balance. It's not cutting into your payout. Go into that, dude. I have a Lucid account that I strictly have to fix that itch, right? Because everybody's gonna have it. It's human nature, man. Everybody's gonna want a revenge trade. Everybody's gonna want to get more money out of the market when they're green. But it's realizing that and setting yourself up in the best way possible to not succumb to that. And one thing that I found was to have a bullshit degen eval account where if I felt myself tilting, I'd click that lockout button and I would go mess around on that account. Or I also only trade Asia on that account. I don't trade Asia on my top set fundeds, just because it's not the market I trade. It's not 100% probability for me. So, Moose, do you have to cash out at 5 days? Can't you stack up? Yeah, you can. You can, LeVar. But one thing I like to do, and the one thing that I would find myself doing is, dude, I would go 5, 6, 7, 8 days of that profit and then try to shoot for that max payout. Over leverage a little bit, get cooked, and I found it was super easy for me to sit there and just tilt away all that money. So what I did is, as soon as a payout's available for me, I take it, and that's it. That's what I got. That's better than nothing. Take that, buy more accounts, take my girl out to dinner, buy some stuff for my truck, whatever it may be. So I'm a big believer in, if you guys got a payout and you can request it, request it. You guys saw that stat in the chat earlier, how many people actually take a payout. Now imagine how many people, take 2 payouts, right? Payout could be $500, man. That covers your accounts that you paid for. So I revenge trade on paper account. That's smart too. That's smart too. I've been doing this shit a lot. Doing what, Jay? What have you been doing? Yeah, go ballistic on a combine, man. Go try to pass some combines. I've got 7 resets over here that I got to deal with. I don't know what's good with that. So, hey, Doc, who would guide to create an account and do we copy your trades? What? Doc not even in here, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy, bro. Don't even know who you're talking to. All right, enough of that. So, big picture is, you guys don't need 100 trades in a day. You don't need to be green every day. We're here playing the long game, right? You want to live the trade live the trade another day. So if you can learn that, play the long game, and really get in tune with your emotions and stay strict in your rules, there's no reason you guys shouldn't be taking payouts. This is the greatest cheat code retail has when it comes to taking money from the market that they've ever had. Ever. So, but it's only rewarding to those who are disciplined. So, all right, now the fun part, guys. Everybody, is that good? Everybody have any questions before we get into the actual risk management side? I'm just going to kind of go over risk management, what it is, how to kind of set it up for yourself personally, what they look like for me. I'll share a little story about how I was literally like a day away from quitting. So yeah. Well, so appreciate that, bro. You're going to be talking about Asia sessions later. Yeah, I'll be trading Asia live on TikTok, bro. Since different trades have varying stop loss sizes, should I be changing the amount of contracts I place? Yes, absolutely, Bob Marley. Are there any rules for doing that? No, so that'll go into the rules I'm about to tell you about, having your, daily loss limit. So if your daily loss limit is $300 and, you give yourself two trades to do that, 2 trades max in a day, you're going to want to risk 150 to 150. So you kind of got to figure out the math and drag the stop loss. What I do is I get in with 2. I hit buy or sell on 2 real quick, drag the stop loss, see where that's at. Normally that gets me pretty close to my risk to reward that I'm shooting for, and I'll add in and scale in and out accordingly from there. So I'm used to not giving F about being negative 2K doing EV bets and now panicking on being, yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. And here's the thing, Jay, like, bro, you're down 700 on a funded, but you're not down 700 in your personal account. They want you, it's all set up for you to feel like it is. Because, bro, everybody looks at this shit here, looks at this, they look at their calendar, they look at their total P&L. Everybody looks at that and already pictures that money in their bank account. As soon as you start doing that, that's when you lose. Once you realize that, all right, I only need X amount of fake money a day. No money's getting deposited or taken out of my account today. I only need X amount over this period of time, and I'm getting a payout. Why would I not just sit there and be stupid strict on those? So, Moose, you don't have to cash out, bro, but I recommend doing it. I recommend taking the money when you get it. I'm up 240 on US crude oil. Nice. What do you usually have your stop loss dollar amount at? It depends. Normally 150 to $200. 150 targeting that 300. And then if the trade starts hitting my way, I'll scale in and out accordingly. What time do you plan on going live during Asia? I'm going to try to finish this within the next 30 minutes and go live, bro. Just go to my TikTok app and hit the alerts button. You'll figure it out. So, all right. So now let's get into risk management. So now that we know how these prop firms are set up, the tricks that they use to target the 99% of degenerate idiots that are trying to trade and make money, now we can identify steps that we can take to give us the edge, right? So, risk management is pretty much the core to your success in trading. Like, this is 90% of it. Like I said to you guys earlier, it's really the bridge between psychology and the profitability aspect of trading. Because even someone with a good psychology will collapse in their trading if they don't have strict rules. And even with somebody with strict rules, will collapse if they don't have good psychology, right? So, without defined limits, right? Without you going in, knowing, okay, this is my set target. If I hit it, I hit it. This is my set loss. If I hit it, I hit that and I'm out. Without those defined limits, your emotions start to take control. That's what these prop firms want. You start trading irrationally and ultimately leading you to blowing these accounts. So I've said rules probably 90 times. So proper risk management starts with strict rules. And I mean strict, like all caps. Strict is strict. Like, that's not most days, not usually, not, when this specific setup occurs, it's, unless I think I can win. It's none of that, dude. You may have 2 of the shittiest trades you've taken in a day, and you're going to have to be able to learn how to sit there and accept that loss, lock out, and come back tomorrow and try again, right? So you have to be strict, and I mean that. So, I mean, these rules will only work if they're followed to a T, and the psychology part only works if you're following your rules to the T, and vice versa. So like once you start to deviate from these rules and start to deviate emotionally and start to trade irrationally, this is when you give the edge back to the market and these firms, right? So if you take emotions out of it and you have a strict set of rules and you have a strategy that you've tested that makes money 65 to 80% of the time, and you know that you're going to make money 65 to 80% of the time, then why wouldn't you put something in place that inhibits you from not achieving that? So, and it's, like I said, guys, this isn't going to happen overnight. Your discipline, your psychology, and all that strength, your mental strength, it all comes through being consistent. It comes with time. So if you're someone that struggles with this stuff, start being strict with these rules. Start making your own rules and be strict with them. And just watch. Do that for 2 weeks. Do that for 2 weeks and just watch how the emotions kind of evaporate out of the actual trading side. So, like I said, it compounds. It becomes easier over time. Like, I'm at the point now where my trade wins, it wins. If not, cool. Like, I won't even look at it half the time. I'll enter, I'll find the trade, I'll go do something else. I'll go work on something else, right? I'll go to a different tab, knowing that I'm sticking to my rules, and that's it. Like, if it hits, it hits. If not, so be it. So just be strict, man. That's all I can say to you guys. Let's see. Okay. What do I have next? So, right, risk management. Learning how to manage your balance, your MLO, the money you got in your account to try to become profitable, right? So risk management in itself isn't about preserving your capital, right? At the end of the day, following it does preserve your capital, but what it really and truthfully does is it protects your mind, preserves your mental capacity, helps you understand your emotions, helps you understand yourself, and kind of helps you take that portion completely out of it and keep that edge that you have, knowing you have a profitable strategy that if I stick with the plan over time, there's no way I don't make money. So yeah, anybody got any questions so far? It's very basics of risk management. Should come fairly easy to you guys. If you're struggling with it, don't get discouraged, guys. Everybody, there's no feeling you're feeling that me, Doc, Po Boy, and Noba, and everybody else in this Discord haven't felt ourselves. You're not the only one that's feeling it, but we all still feel it to this day. And it sucks. You just gotta learn how to recognize it and how to learn how to overcome it. And you just realize that if you're strict with these rules, man, there's no way. Think about it like reps in a gym, right? It builds over time. So you may have 4 good days in the gym. 5th day may be shitty. All right, so what? Does that mean you're going to come in the next day and just absolutely obliterate every muscle in your body until you're fatigued and you can't move anymore? No. You're going to come back next day, stick with your proposed workout plan in this case, and you're going to do it. So treat trading kind of like you do that. So, yeah. So like I said, rules have helped me understand myself, understand the emotional side of it, get my emotional intelligence when it comes to trading to the next level. So I'm going to kind of give you guys some trades that I currently follow. Just to kind of give you a baseline. Now, my risk management and everything is going to be different than yours. But I still think that my risk management settings are very, very beginner friendly, because I found such, and you guys will relate to it, but I found such good success with keeping it simple and just following these simple rules that I didn't need to overcomplicate it, didn't need to oversize, didn't need to over leverage or anything like that. I know a lot of you probably came from a sports betting community or sports betted before. You know, it happens like the one day you up your unit size is the day that you get absolutely cooked by the market. So, and I know you guys can relate to that. So it's same concept here. So rule number one is, dude, I only take 2 trades a day, right? If I lose 2, I lose both of them. I hit this button here and I lock the fuck out. That's it. It's easy. If I win 1, I'm done. If I hit my profit target for the day, I'm done. So what this does helps me not to overtrade, helps me to come in with defined limits and defined targets. And depending on which one gets hits first, that's how my day is going to go. Not because of my trading personally, because that's what the market gave me that day. So recognize it and don't overtrade. Take the loss, be a man, and walk away. So another thing I did was I set a max daily loss limit. So I think I'm going to tell you guys a story here before I kind of go into how I formulated these trades. So I had 2 accounts, right? I had two Express accounts. I had one with a $4,000 or $4,500 balance, and I had one with like $2,300 in it. One day away, one $150 day away from taking a payout, and I was in the airport. I was traveling for work, pissed off. I had a bad day, and I ended up getting those accounts $150 from blowing funded accounts. That's $6,000 worth of a balance evaporated, all in the airport from my laptop. So I ended up locking out and basically told myself, all right, what's the common denominator here, and why do I keep doing this? And the common denominator was having no plan when I go into trade and not understanding how my emotions were playing effect into that. So what I did is I took and told myself, and I limited it. I went in here, into your risk settings. I told myself I could only trade NQ. I traded 1 MNQ for 2.5 weeks. And I shot for, at first, $25 in profit. 1 to 2R, or $25 loss was my max for a $50 win. And I did that, dude. I stuck to that. I traded 1 MNQ for 2.5 weeks, almost 3, to get myself out of a somewhat of a hole, right? But the feeling you have when you can go 2.5, 3 weeks only trading 1 MNQ, knowing that, like, if I don't figure this out, then this is it. It's a wrap for me. Like, being able to see that, bro, that shit was actually easy, which I did all through here, right? I set, my risk settings was 25, and then I would do $50 profit, whatever it may be. And once I got back up to a $2,000 balance after that 2 weeks or whatever, I would up my size to 2 MNQ and ended up taking a full payout. Not max payout on those accounts, but I took probably, $3,000 from both of them. So, so set a daily loss limit, right? So for this one, 25 would have been my daily loss limit, so I gave myself 1 trade. But, as it grew, my daily loss limit grew to, $50 a day and then my personal daily would go to 100. And then I would move it up All right, cool. I'm back at a $2,000 balance. I'm doing 2 MNQ. I can risk 100 to win 200 or whatever it may be. You just gotta figure out what works for you with your risk tolerance and with your kind of emotional intelligence when it comes to trading, following your rules, sticking to your strategy, and stuff like that. So let's see. Hold on, I'm missing some questions. So let's see. Everyone got to experience blowing the fund? Yes, bro. Definitely got to experience that. What type of account you recommend to sign up with? I would recommend going to Lucid Trading. Lucid Trading is good. I'll answer that question later. If you can only buy 2 evals a month, what is your suggestion for MLL for each account? Intermediate trading experience. If you can only buy 2 evals a month, dude, I mean, shoot for like 250 loss and 500 profit, bro. You should be able to pass it by then. So you should be able to pass it. So 2 trades per session. Yeah, 2 trades per session. But like I said earlier, B, I don't trade Asia on my copy traded funded. So how much should I start with? I currently have like $600 saved. What is it good to start with? Yeah, $600 is plenty to work with, brother. Go ahead and go to the discount codes and get you an account with Lucid, Tradeify, Top Step, whatever, and get you going. Dude, people might get confused by that because they saw 4 trades per day. Yeah. So good point, bro. Appreciate that. So when you guys see this right here where it says 8 trades, 4 trades, 3 trades, like this just talking about my contract size. So like I traded with, I think 4 MNQ in this day, and then I had 4 different take profit limit orders. So those counted as the 8 exits. So yeah, 2 full trades based off of your risk tolerance and what your leverage is. So set your max daily loss limit, and if you hit that shit, hit this button, man. Lock out. Close the app. Don't think about the market for the rest of the day. You got to think about it. If you shoot for $250 a day on an eval account, that gives you 8 days. 8 days of no winning trades before you blow it. That's almost impossible. And if that does happen, you should probably hang it up after that point. So yeah. Number 3 is, I said it earlier, BE counts as a win. Your risk-free trade or a risk-free day is a day that you didn't lose or win any money. So that's a win in my book. And then number 4 is going to be, please get familiar with this freaking lockout button. It is there for a reason. I was against it at first. That shit sucked. I felt like I was always missing out on trades. You're not. You're saving yourself. Get familiar with that. I said it earlier, got to be the best loser, man. Being able to lose in this trade, being able to lose and learn how to lose and accepting these losses is that's the game. You know, it's not about how you handle your wins. Everybody can YOLO win a trade and win, right? It's all about how you handle your losses. All about how you handle strictly staying to your rules, stuff like that. So, the way I kind of look at it as well, what that kind of helped me shift my mindset on losing days is use that as a business expense, right? Or entry fee to the club. Right, you're going to the club with your boys. There's your entry fee to get in, or all right, that was my price of doing business with NQ for that week. Right, it was $314. That's all it cost me, but it cost NQ a lot more, right? So if you win, just don't get so in love with your daily P&Ls and stuff like that. It's like I said, all this stuff is great. It's there for a reason. Take it at face value. But as soon as you start getting caught up in how you're doing daily and stuff like that, sooner you start trading irrationally. So what is your PDLL, personal daily loss limit? About $300, $400. I'm at the point now where I don't have to have it on my risk settings, Chris. But if I give myself two trades, depending on how the market's doing, if I'm only getting 1R out of the market that week, it'll be 150. And if we're getting a little bit more out of it on the green days, then I'll bump it up to 200 a trade, 200 a trade, 300 a day, or 400 a day if I'm getting more than 1R. So I bought a Lucid Combine like a week ago, but haven't taken trades on them yet. I would at least go in and do what I did and hit buy or sell on MNQ so they don't deactivate it. So if you set yourself to only lose 250 a day, you can keep an eval. Exactly. 8-day shit means if you limit yourself to a personal daily loss limit of $250 a day, you are giving yourself 8 days, 8 losing days in a row before that account blows. And if you do $100 as your daily loss limit, you're giving yourself 20 days. So it all depends on your risk tolerance and stuff like that, but that's kind of the way you got to look at it. So, I mean, if you go 8 straight days losing after we made this, the actual strategy so easy, you probably hang it up anyways. So $300 red days are not terrible. No, man, if we're getting 3 or 4 days of $300 in profit, you're good. Okay, doing like 1 to 2 trades a day, follow my rules, just like win 250, lose 300. Yeah. So if you're only winning 250, bro, and that's all the market's really giving you that week, that's all you can get out of it, then make your daily loss limit 250. It's all going to be. It's not static. It's not. I mean, it can be fixed, right? It can be a fixed thing for you if you really have that much. That not saying you personally, Chris, but most people. If you need that, it can be a locked in thing for you over here on the settings, right? But and most of it's not going to be perfect either, man. Like your risk reward changes on the actual trade itself. So yeah, so so you're shooting for what? Sucks. No, I'm more like where my stop loss is set, or like size, like what my target stop loss. So if you're risking 1-to-1, bro, and you're willing to lose 2-to-1, then you should probably call it after 1 trade, right? So if you want to do 2 trades a day, your daily loss limit wants to be half of what you're willing to risk per 1 trade out of your 2 trades, right? If that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Does that make sense, Chris? So, I mean, the goal, the end of the day is taking what the market gives you, right? Understanding what it's going to give you, getting the most out of it as you can, efficiently, protecting your mental self, your mental state, protecting your balance, and really to survive, to live, to trade another day, right? Because the more days you have being strict to your rules with a winning strategy, the more days, the better the chances are of you actually turning profitable. So, and you don't need to trade every day. Like, I'm probably done trading on Fridays. I'll be in the streams with you guys, but I can't win on Fridays. I can't book a win on Fridays. I never have. Always happens like that. Like, ever since I started. So that's just something I added to my rules. You guys will have your own little personal things you add. So yeah, like what my target stop loss should be amount wise. Like, you should risk $100 to win 250, bro. And I know it's not going to be 100% perfect math wise if you're going off of the size of the fair value gaps and sizing in and out and stuff like that. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, end of the day, being down $300 on a Friday of paper money in the grand scheme of things didn't really affect me too much, right? I'm still green on the week. I still got my money from the market. So separate the emotions and separate your wallet from this monthly P&L and this balance up here. And if they're going to make it like a game for you guys, treat it like a game, but with strict rules, right? Strict rules, and follow your strategy to a T. And I promise you, there's literally no way you should not be taking payouts. No way. So, yeah. Risk limits are personal. You got to stop comparing yourself to everybody else you see in these discords, everybody else you're seeing on TikTok and Instagram. All that shit is bad for your mentality. All that stuff goes back to why they have set up like this. So these people on TikTok and stuff like that are still giving you that dopamine hit, even when you're scrolling, even when you're not looking at the charts, because they want you to get FOMO. They want you to feel like you're behind in trading, when in reality, that guy who posted a $5,000 trade, I guarantee you, does not have any payouts. So don't compare yourself to anybody. Everybody's on their own path. Everybody has their own journey. So do what's best for you and your risk tolerance and stick to it. Like back when me and Doc were fine-tuning this strategy, man, and the guy was taking 6 figures in payouts in a month. Like I was sitting there taking the same trades as this guy, right? But I'm taking like a fraction of that. So that helped. That hurt me a little bit. That led me to tilt some, led me to over leverage, but I was able to overcome that and understand, all right, Doc's got $1 bajillion in payouts already, so he's at a different level in trading than I am. And as long as I know that I'm in it for the long run, I'll get there one day, then I'm good. Friday loss hurts you just thinking about it. Yeah, Friday loss sucks, bro. I hate going into the weekend with an L, man. It just really sucks. Yeah, for real, Meloso. Because they're all posting. Exactly, Drake. Exactly, bro. Yeah, exactly. So, if you're unprofitable, or you guys have only taken one payout, or you're on the brinks of profitability, you guys need to stick to your base hits. You guys need to outline strict rules for yourself. Stick to a limit and a target every day. Block out all this noise that's here for you. Take it as face value, and use that as leverage and use that as your edge against the market. Because just like the casino, at the end of the day, the house will always win. It will, 100%. So it doesn't come overnight. The more you do it, the better you get at it, more consistent you get, more in tune with your emotions you're going to get. The more easier it's going to be for you guys to know when you're about to tilt, to know when you are tilting, to know when you're not tilting. And honestly, man, it helps if you find a buddy in the Discord, or if you're even in the chat saying, hey, send a screenshot. I'm down this. I want to take this trade so bad. Have somebody else hold you accountable, man. I'll hold you accountable. If you guys feel yourself about to tilt, fucking shoot me a DM. At me in the chats. I promise you, I will talk you out of that, because quicker you can overcome that and overcome the tilting, the quicker your trading will just completely explode. And it's not like getting profitable takes time, and understanding this psychology stuff takes time, but once you get it, man, it clicks. Like it's hard to explain, but it's a whole new ball game when it comes to being in the markets, man, and taking money. I don't know, dude. After this, I'm gonna go take a leak and get on Asia. But I'm almost done, guys. So how do we execute now that we know how these prop firms are are set up to help us, how they're set up to give us an advantage, and how they're set up to manipulate us in a way as well. So before the trading day, you guys need to go in, make sure you have your daily loss limits set, make sure your profit targets are set, make sure you know what they're at, make sure you know where these are at before you're entering your trade as well. Go into this gear icon here and I don't need that. Yeah, set your maximum number of trades, you're allowed to trade per day. You're going to have to do some math on that if you're trading micros over minis. But yeah, and just visualizing this lockout button, man. I'm telling you guys, if you guys get religious with this lockout button, right? Here, I mean, for here, it'll do it for you. It'll do it automatically. But I know sometimes, and with the way the market's been moving, you're not going to be able to have a static DLL or MLO based on the sizing and the actual trade that's taking away, taking the trade that is taking place itself. It's all that's gonna variable. But if you can, visualize that and say, all right, I'm shooting for $300 a day, and as soon as that $300 a day comes, lock it out. Bro, you will feel so good in the long run. I promise you, it will. It does something to you emotionally. It's a weird feeling, man, but it does. It really flips the switch for you. Being able to see the process when you're strict to it for 2 to 3 weeks, seeing the proof is in the pudding, and just continuing to do that day in and day out and compound on it. So visualize that lockout button. Just lock out. If you hit your profit target, lock out. If you hit your loss limit, lock out. If you hit your trade limit, lock out. That way, if you have that itch to go back into the market, you can't. Your funds are secured, your account's locked out. And if you still feel the need to trade, go paper trade or go on an eval, like I said earlier. So next execution is going to be during the day, right? So as these tickers are moving and stuff like that, as you're in a trade, follow your rules. Know your rules. Have them marked out in front of you before you even enter a trade, before the trade even gets to your level. Know where your stop loss and your take profit's going to be before you enter the trade. And then stop trading during the day when you do hit these rules. After that happens, evaluate your emotions during the day, throughout each trade, throughout each missed trade as well. And just kind of see where you're at emotionally, see how you're feeling. And if you're feeling emotional, just lock out. And after the trading day, review your trades, review why you won, review why you lost, review how you felt emotionally during that loss, during that time. Understand your emotions throughout the whole day, throughout the trading. And then don't grade yourself on what you see here or how much money you made in the day. Grade yourself on how disciplined you were to sticking to those rules, sticking to how well you followed those rules, and grade yourself off of that. And if you start giving yourself a discipline and consistency grade daily, and not a monetary grade or grade based off of monetary value, I'm telling you, it will absolutely do wonders for your trading journey. So that's pretty much it, guys. I appreciate the time for you guys coming in here and trying to learn. It shows that you're willing to take the next step. You know that this is a big portion of it. Realizing that risk management is the real skill here. The trading is actually the easy part. Psychology plus rules equals consistency. Consistency plus discipline equals payouts. Payouts helps you scale. Scaling helps you into financial freedom and help you live the life you want to do. Enjoy your time. Hey, Meloso, bro, Doc ain't got shit on my risk management, brother. I promise you that. Yeah, if you can master this section here, guys, I promise you, trading starts feeling less like gambling and more like a profession and more like just part of your daily routine. So if you guys got questions, feel free to ask them here in the chat now. I'll stay on for a little bit. If you have questions that arise overnight or throughout the week, please feel free to message me. If I don't see it, it's probably because it got flagged in the approved message list. So just at me or something, and I'll be sure to answer that. But if you guys did find value in this, go back in the Discord and kind of just let everybody know that you found some value here, that this was good, and that that they can probably put Sunday football down for an hour and a half to learn a high paying skill. So yeah, after that, I'm gonna open the floor to you guys. I know that was a lot, and I know some of it was repetition, some of it may have been redundant, some of it seemed elementary, right? But yeah, man, I've got 5 pages of shit that I wrote all through last week and all through this weekend. 5 pages of my final draft of this stuff. I've got probably 20 pages of just expressing to you guys how it clicked for me, how I was able to really take this shit to the next level. So yeah, if you guys got any questions, let me know. Meloso, you're so welcome. Beaver, you're welcome. Jays, Chiefs, good shit. Last question, Moose, Texans or Chiefs tonight? Dude, Texans. I think if Texas can beat the Chiefs tonight, they'll be good. Rick, everybody needs it, bro. I still need it from time to time, so don't feel discouraged. But yeah, like I said, guys, if you found value, man, go let them know in the chat. Go let them know what they missed out on. Go let them know that they need to lock in when I post this video on YouTube. If I post it on YouTube for them, I kind of think that this is a lesson that I don't mind doing over and over again, because it's something that even myself as a profitable trader still struggle with to this day. So yeah, it's not, bro. The market does what it wants to do, right? All we're doing is looking at pattern recognition at key levels and taking a trade based off of a strategy, right? So if you can wait for that to come to you and you can take the emotions out of it, bro, it's so easy. Like, it's so easy. It's so easy just to slam an IFVG long at a lower liquidity level, knowing, all right, I got a 75 to 80% chance of banging on this because I waited 2.5 hours from open to get a banger trade. And hey, if it wins, awesome. If it loses, tough shit. I get to trade another day. So no problem, Devo. We're praying for perfect setups all week long. Yes, sir. Hopefully. Jay, you are welcome. I can't see your names because I'm in streamer mode because I did record this. Yeah, anybody got any questions? LeVar, I see you're typing, bro. What's good, man? And LeVar, this is going to be how to call combo with Moose. Great guy. The amount of patience he has is amazing. Hey, man. LeVar, bro, I've been successful in my life. In my sales career, my other business ventures, not by luck, not by skill, man. It's all because I had a mentor, man. I had somebody to help me through it for free of charge, man. So if I can help give back to that, guys, please let me know. I won't be able to do one-on-one calls with you guys every day throughout the week, but like, I can answer messages for you. I can send you voice messages, kind of talk stuff through with you and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm down. And LeVar, this is going to be a key. This is going to be a big one for you to kind of learn, because you've got a tough schedule, man, being a trucker, being on the road, right? So you're not going to be able to trade every day. So being patient, sticking strict to your rules, and understanding that, all right, this is my 1 to 2 to 3 days I have to trade. I'm going to get the best out of it as I can. If I lose 2 days out of the 3, I know that the probability of me doing better the next 3 days that I have to come to trade is in my favor. So being able to separate the emotional side of it and not wanting to, not feeling forced to get back the losses you had the week before, 6 days after, because you haven't stopped thinking about them, as you've been on the road, making this economy go around, bro. So, yeah. Yeah, LeVar, and if you have any more questions, let me know. I'm here to help, bro. So Top Step is a GOAT. Bro, I like Top Step. They're great. They did some great things when it comes to no activation fees and stuff like that, but they got to clean up the Project X stuff. It's starting to bother me a little bit, so it's getting kind of annoying. But yeah, Top Step is good. They've been around the longest. They pay out. They've got buku bucks in the bank. So yeah. All right, guys. Anybody else got any questions for me? Anybody else got anything I can help with? Any questions, guys? About trading, about life, anything. I'm here to help. But if not, you guys just want me to shut up and go get on TikTok Live and try to catch a trade during Asia, just put a 1 in the chat and I'll be out of here.